Welcome to your STAAR strategy review. Remember that you have 4 strategies in place when you take your STAAR exam. The short answer strategy of APE, the crossover question strategy of APE-T-PEC, your literary essay strategy following a plot structure, and your expository essay using the R.O.S.E method for organization. The short answer strategy, APE, is used when the prompt is about one piece of literature or poetry. In APE, we answer, prove, and explain. When you answer, you read the question to determine what is being asked, identify all parts of the question, use a dictionary if necessary to make sure you understand what is being asked, and answer the question in a complete sentence with proper punctuation. When you prove, you choose a quote from the reading selection that best proves your answer correct. Make sure to embed your quote in a sentence explaining how it proves the answer to your question. Always use complete sentences and proper grammar when writing your short answer. The final thing that you do is you explain. Finish your short answer by explaining how the quote you chose connects your answer to the original question, to your life, observations of the world, or known historical context. Be sure to proofread and edit your answer before moving to the next question. When answering crossover questions that basically ask about 2 different pieces of literature or poetry, you use APE-T-PEC. The umbrella is how we show our organizational structure. At the top, we answer the question. Then we give text evidence from our first reading selection. Then make a transition using similarly, likewise, or other transitional terms. Then we go to proof from our second piece of reading and write a final conclusion. In the APE-T-PEC method, you answer, prove, and explain from your first piece of literature. Then transition, go to your second piece of literature, prove, explain, and write a conclusion. Next we have your literary essay. A literary essay is a narrative or a made-up story. It should follow a plot line. Remember, you have a plot structure. Here's a plot diagram. It starts with the exposition, which is the introduction to the story. This is where the reader finds out about the characters and the setting. Then you have a conflict. It's the struggle that each good story must have. It's a problem that needs to be resolved. Then you move to the rising action section where events lead up to a high action point of the story and the story becomes more complicated. The climax is the high point of action in the story. This leads to a falling action, which are the events in the story after the high action point, leading more toward the end of the story, or your resolution. In the resolution section, this is how your story ends. Make sure you understand all the points of the plot diagram and use this when writing your literary essays. The final strategy we'll talk about today is your expository essay strategy, the R.O.S.E method. Expository essays expose the truth and are factual, non-fiction, and you have to use proof from sources. When you use the R.O.S.E method, you make sure and write your prompt at the top. Then you're going to decide what you have read that has to do with the prompt, what you've observed, what you've seen in society or history, or what you've experienced. All of this will boil down into a thesis statement, which is your topic plus your opinion on that topic, written as concisely as possible. The thesis is going to be the roadmap that you use to write the rest of your essay. Finally, remember to use these 4 strategies when taking your STAAR exam.